The Pusher Pass podcast is not meant for younger listeners. This is a mature podcast. We use salty language. You have been warned.
The turbulence you make is all my wings can take. The hardest part is keeping a straight face. When the tail starts to spin, I see your fucking grin. There are few things on this earth that cause more rage than putting open minds into a cage.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Pusher Pass podcast. Thank you all for joining us. It's a lovely March 14th here in beautiful Ohio.
But it's not.
But it's not. What day is it? Oh, my.
Yeah.
Oh, my. Hey, everybody. So it's
April.
Whenever you decide to listen to this. Whoops. So, mine's Dave. To my left.
Jesse.
To my right.
I'm Chris.
And we're bad at this. But today we're ready to talk about new stuff that's come out since the last time we talked about stuff. And boy, howdy, have some stuff come out, and a couple of us are ready to rage, and a couple of us are ready to talk about things logically. I will not be doing the latter.
What do you know? The guy who did a once over on the cards wants to rage about them.
What? I've played two of them, and they make me mad. The other two, I didn't even realize what they did yet, because I didn't even know the app updated.
Yeah.
But holy crap, blacksmiths. But anyways, it's been a couple of days since we were last here. For those of you listening who care, we were going to go to Adepticon and play Guild Ball. Chris could not make it due to reasons. I could not play due to more reasons. Our buddy Jasper even play? No?
I don't know.
I don't think
he played L5R. So
he played L5R,
our community was pretty much entirely divorced from Adepticon this year.
Oops.
I had set aside the time. I just had to step back due to some family medical issues, but I'm good to go again. So I'll be ready next year for Adepticon and some tournaments in the meantime.
11 months to go.
Hey, I'll start painting my miners now.
Right? I mean, it's not like they're going to have any events at Origins, but who am I to say why that's a thing?
Yeah.
Come on, Steamforge, get your crap together. But anyways, so Miners came out, and I'm an Engineers player. I have the whole team, and Chris is an Engineers player. He has the whole team. Jesse has played a lot of Engineers, and he hates the whole team. He hates the whole team.
He hates them because he's our sparring buddy.
Pretty much, I am the dummy that just sits there with a stick that people punch on.
You know how Ballista works.
Yep, I know all too well how Ballista works.
But look at the bright side. When you sat down against Engineers back at the end of Season 3, you were like, I know what I need to do.
Yeah, I'm going to knock him on his ass real quick.
Exactly. But the good thing is that they've all been changed, but now they have a new sub-guild to pull from, and they are pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with pretty good.
Yeah, we had some hot takes on the Miners about a month ago when we last podcast.
About 2 months ago.
Because we talked about them for a good while.
Talked about them. We got to break the story because we were looking at
that's
the
true.
release event cards, so that was fun. Miners apparently performing real well, so well that there was an April Fool's post about them, and it was half joke and half serious, and yeah, they're gonna get a bit of a nerf coming up within a month or so. Here is the word we get from Steamforged on their blog. I have played maybe 10 games with Miners. I'd like to play more with them, but I'm going to hold off now because they're getting a tweak, and I can sort of understand why. I have yet to see them perform really OP on the table, but every time my opponent tries to put me in a crippling situation, I just look at the board and I'm like, yeah, I got tools for that. So I can understand why, when people really know what they're doing with the miners, why they're probably too potent.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that they do. I remember the first game we got to sit down and play with them, at least me, I was like, Chris, I want you to play miners.
And you played the church.
I
right?
played the new church
order.
with the second ball, because that was the only thing they changed. They didn't change any stats on anybody. They just said, here's a second ball to play with.
It's a super awesome change, I think.
I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
But it's also, playing them now, I've played 3 or 4 games with them with the ball, and it really opens up your ability to attack the opponent, because you either don't have the ball and then have to rely on a couple of your fight men and a really good spigot charge to maybe do anything, and you put yourself in a horrible position, or you can use the extra ball to generate momentum and actually try to get the real ball and then, play a real game, because if you're the church, you don't have the ball, you're screwed.
Yeah.
I had played 3 or 4 games prior to that, and not to toot my own horn, but I won all those games, and I was like, this is cool. So they're kind of cool, so I was gonna keep playing them, and then I went and played against engineers. And
miners, you played against miners.
Miners. I'm sorry, I went to go play against miners, and I think he just played the straight 6, and I'm like, all right, this is cool. And then I lost 0-12.
I didn't play the straight 6. I put Salvo in for Fuse.
Salvo in for Fuse. So you upgraded. In my opinion, you upgraded. So, which is great, because I lost and I didn't score a goal, and it was everything terrible, and I was bad.
Are you sure it wasn't?
I lost 0-12.
12-8.
I lost 0-12.
Okay, the second time we played it was 12-8.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first time it was 0-12.
The
That's
first
right.
time I had never played engineers, and it was like,
Miners.
or I'd never played miners, and it's the same thing. So I never played them, and I'm like, what does this do? Oh, they dodge for days. Like, this is bad, and then I got the guys thrown away, and then that was bad, and then I got dunked on, and that was also bad, and they're real dumb.
Well,
Chris, rebuttal?
oh, you're asking me to retort? Well, I don't really have a statement to say they're not good. I'm saying they are good.
My argument is, Odet's dumb. Your response to Odet, they ain't dumb.
Oh, yeah. So you're asking me to say why they're fine?
Why do they not need a nerf, and what are their weaknesses that we
I
can
already
exploit?
said it's okay to nerf them. They probably do. So,
what is their weakness?
So the reason why they're probably a little too good is that they actually can whoop ass a little too well, for as well as they can move around the board and retrieve the ball and take a punch. They can whoop ass just a little bit too well. And I find that in my matches, I'm usually up 2 goals. Maybe not up, but I've usually got more points. And I've got 2 goals and a kill. And I'm working for that second kill. And the ball just kind of presents itself. And I just go for the third goal. And if that's the way that I can really angle at it, it's probably not quite okay. I'm probably not having to sacrifice enough in order to do one of those things if the other is just opening wide up. The things that... It's hard to say which part of them is just a little too good, because you go tweaking things and House of Cards falls apart. So this is something that's going to take a nuanced touch. The one thing that I notice is amazing is Mule. My goodness, that robot makes me weep every time I look at my unpainted Locust model. Because Mule gets stuff done. I've had, let me think, 3 games against Veteran Boar where Mule has just utterly shut down, maybe I should say locked down, Veteran Boar, because I do believe that's his character play, lockdown. But between locking down, throwing as a counterattack, like, people don't realize you can throw as a counterattack, and you place the enemy model within 2 inches. So that leaves nobody in melee range anymore if you don't want them to be. And Mule can throw you across its base. Mule can do all sorts of stuff. And when it's time to beat face, like Mule has a Momentous 2 double push on the second column, third column, which is like Ballista playbook. And when miners can place and hop around, it's really easy to set up an advantageous scrum, particularly with the captain's legendary. I'll just legendary teleport everyone, just suddenly be ganging up on somebody 4 times, and lock that model down and be ready to kill it when I want. So that's probably a little too much. The ring outs are also nice, but if you get close enough to the edge of the board to get pushed out, that's kind of your own fault. Like you don't have to chase them way out there. So Mule is one where I'm like, dang, this model's really good. How you can tell that the miners are maybe just a little too good is that the 2 best engineer squaddies play for miners, and you don't want to bring both of them at the same time. Like, the 2 best, Colossus and Salvo, both amazing. You don't want them both in your list at the same time when you're playing miners. There's times you want one, there's times you want the other. I've found Colossus is amazing with Fissure's, what is it? Is it called Toe, or is it called... What's it called in Fissure's case?
You're Coming
with me. Yeah, Colossus and You're Coming With Me is so awesome. And Colossus gives a lot extra oomph for killing or getting the takeouts. Mm-hmm. Whereas Salvo is just another ball threat with really good ball retrieval and good, can knock you down from range, can knock the opponent down from range when that needs to happen. So I'm usually bringing one or the other, not both. The repositioning that you get on either of them from Fissure is just great. Usually when I kick off, I'm taking Salvo because Salvo is a good option for kickoff. Colossus can also be a good option for kickoff with You're Coming With Me, but usually I just prefer to have Salvo, so I've got the jank of pick the ball up, or I'm going to pick it up myself with an arrow, with tetherball. So anyhow, we'll see what happens to them. I don't want to speculate on what's going to get adjusted, but the thing that sticks out right away at me is just how good Mule is. I hear that a lot of folks think that one of the particularly good things about them is the captain, and maybe I just haven't used the captain to great effect yet. The captain does have an amazing result on the first playbook result. That Momentous tackle push is just outstanding. Like, he will get the ball from you at 2 inches and push you away, and there's nothing you can do about it. Oddly enough, the only model that is safe from him is Colossus. and he can take Colossus.
Right.
So that's mostly what I think. The Fissure jank is really strong. Like, that's a thing that could get adjusted. Is Fissure's You're Coming With Me probably won't change. Fissure's legendary to just get the ball all of a sudden may change, because that's like, that's quite a good option. But again, I don't know how you touch them in a light way. So it's something I'm gonna sit back and wait, and when they get changed, I'll pull them back out and start playing with them again.
Okay. Yeah, I could see Fissure being changed up. I mean, generally when they want to nerf somebody, at least in the past, after they had the terrible Season 3 nerfs, they usually try to not go as overboard with the nerfs as they could. I could definitely see her losing one of her abilities. Or it being changed completely. Like, I could just see her losing her legendary play. Because You're Coming With Me with Sinkhole is a lot of movement, and then the fact that the ball can also be moved, like, I could just see her legendary play leaving.
Yeah, it definitely could. Like, that model has so much utility. It's hard to say what happens to the team when you can't just do that.
I mean,
because that does, like, essentially getting possession of the ball is usually equivalent to scoring a goal. So removing
yeah.
that is big, although I have yet to use it in any of my games, so I don't care.
so, but the problem is that, like, being able to just say, that ball's over there, I'm going to kick it back out, and if it scatters to you, like, or to the places you want it to be, you can, I mean, anytime you can do something like that, like kill the ball, is huge. But she doesn't
Oh, yeah.
pay anything for it,
Nope, just once
And-
per game.
and it's 10-inch range.
Yep.
It's really far,
huge.
and it's dumb.
From a model that moves halfway across the board as it is.
Right. So that's one of the things that, like, they have a lot of place effects, and place effects are essentially better than dodges.
Yeah.
They don't trigger movement effects. They literally don't trigger traps.
Nope.
They do not trigger traps. They do not trigger anything that triggers on movement.
Yeah, the one downside to a placement is that you don't get to snap a ball when you're placed.
Rats.
Yeah. I mean, it's a definite difference.
So, I mean, the problem is that, like, the 2-inch dodge, you know exactly how far they're going. With a 2-inch place, you can extend that threat circle in any direction. I mean, the real question is, like, with a 2-inch dodge, you know what's going on. With a 2-inch place, you can go any number across, you know, in any direction.
Yeah, you can usually get out of engagement.
I mean, and that's the thing. Like, a person with Shadow, like, you know exactly what's going to happen. But a person with these, all 6 of these having place effects and then more place effects on top of it, I mean, is it overkill? With the place effects, is that too many inches? Like, is there such a thing as too many inches?
Well,
It's, said by a man who doesn't count inches, I guess. I don't know.
I'm metric, damn it. No, I'm not. Anyways, but you get my point. Like, the fact that Shaft has his legendary play that says, and friendly models within the pulse may be placed within 2 inches of their current location. It is very similar to Blackheart's legendary, which is all friendly models may make a 2-inch dodge. It's just specifically better.
yeah, and that's okay. Like, you can have models with specifically better legendaries than other models. Like, you can't go like apples to apples across the thing and expect one to have all of their legendaries to be exactly the same. Whereas, you know, Blackheart has some other amazing things that work with him. Whereas Shaft has, you know, Shaft won't be enabling models to kill just by playbook results, but rather through big gang ups through his legendary or something. Like, there's lots of differences why I wouldn't expect a parity between legendary play power on captains.
Well, I still think it's a lot. I think you could even make it a 1-inch place and it would still be okay
Oh, on his legendary?
on his legendary. Like, he's got Secret Tunnel, he's got that legendary play, he's got Lodestone, which is pretty good as well. I mean, he's got Weak Point, it's whatever, I think, kind of, but the fact that he has Lodestone is pretty dang good, and he's super tough, and he's got a decent amount of hit points because he got Tough Hide.
Yeah,
I
it goes
mean,
forever.
You don't want to go in on him. He's another one of those It's like Engineers. They have this team theory where you only have so many models you want to go in on. You can only go in on a couple of guys because otherwise they're just like, well, Tough Hide's eating this up. Tough Hide's Sturdy eating it up. You can only go in on a couple of people.
Yeah. So anyone but the captain or mule, really even the captain is killable by most killy captains or by squatties who with a little setup.
Right. So, you know, I played against them with the new church. They wrecked my face. The question of the day is that, you know, obviously they won an event, like the day they came out.
Ooh, miners?
Yeah.
So the biggest thing that was very telling was that when the French Nationals happened, like, half the field took miners. Not sure exactly what the what the real number was. I think it was 6 out of the top 8 were playing miners, but you know, it's something that I'd have to look up right away to find. But that was and that was the crux of Steamforge's April Fool's joke, where they said, hey, we noticed it was only 6 out of 8 teams were, only 6 out of the top 8 were playing minors, and we wanted all 8 to be playing minors. Like, that was their April Fool's joke. It was pretty good. But then they went into a more serious, they put on their hat backwards, they sat in the chair backwards, and they said, hey, let's rap about what's really wrong here, and we're going to try to fix it. So that's kind of where the community rests on minors at the moment.
Jesse, have you played against the minors yet?
I have not, because not many people up there have them, and I don't get paired up against them really.
Cool.
Yep, I've never played against them, so I have no input to put in
I
there.
think only 3 people have them. It's you, me, and what's his name?
They were-
Joe.
They were $80 boxes and hard to get, so to some extent it almost felt pay to win, but that's not where, that wasn't the intention ever.
Yo, dog, we want to make $80 real fast. Let's put out the good stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that how British people work at game companies? They just are like, we want to make the money, so put out new stuff that's real good. That's how British works, right?
That's how a certain company works.
Oh, yeah. Fuck GW. Anyways.
The Giant Wiener Company.
Yeah. Well, they're British, so I don't know about that, but anyway,
Fair.
they've been out for a while. They're gonna get nerfed, I've heard. We'll see. I still think they're. I mean, I haven't played enough against them. Maybe I'm just not got enough reps. But I was very overwhelmed the first time I played against them and went, "Oh, there's nothing I can do." There's literally, I think the entire first game was just, I can't do anything about this game.
I mean,
Oh.
have you gotten to play them yet?
I want to...
Twice.
Oh, you played against them twice now. With
I've never played with them.
So,
Anyway,
yeah.
but
I think we've beaten this topic together with... beaten this topic to death with a shovel or a spade, perhaps.
Yes. Fitting.
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 Just find a hole to push it into.
Oof. So, on top of the minors come out, there's a couple of new captains that were released in the past couple of weeks. We have all the cards for them now, which is great. The first one up on my list here is for, ironically, the engineers, so we'll just segue right into Rivet, who, if you haven't seen her, go on the app and open it up as we talk about her, because I'm not going to read her card verbatim. But she's got a lot of cool tricks, and Chris Ryan has gotten to play her a couple of times.
Yeah, I've played her probably 6 times at this point. I've had a lot of fun playing Rivet. She is like, if I handed Steamforge a checklist of things that I want my engineers to do or can't do, they're like, sure, let's give you a captain that can address any of those issues at any point in time during the game. She can turn my models damage momentous, which is huge for Colossus. She can help out with the movement rate. She can help me with gang ups and crowd outs. She can give a squatty 2-inch melee or herself. Those are all things that were really, really beneficial, and that I really felt like I would be outclassed during matches because I couldn't bring enough 2-inch melee in a match, or because when my models are doing damage, it's not momentous. So when I'm doing damage, in a non-Rivet team, when I'm doing damage with any of my squatties, I'm falling behind in the tempo race simply because I'm not generating momentum fast enough. So enter Rivet, and suddenly these things, they have cures. She makes my whole team sturdy when I need it, which is rare, but you know what? I love it when I can get it. She turns Colossus into the everything. Like, he's immune to everything once. Like, tough hide, close control, stoic, sturdy, amazing.
More reasons for you to love Colossus, Jess.
I'll isolate him and you can kill him. I have had some games where I didn't win with Rivet. Shocking, I know, but I got countered reasonably hard playing into Morticians with their new Captain Morn. because as much as Rivet does for her players, Morn just turns on Graves and Gas to the point that if you're scrummed, they will dice you up. Like they'll hit your whole team if you're not paying attention. And normally I'm pretty good about that, but when I crowd out a model 4 times, I usually think, oh, hey, I can ignore that thing. But not when Morn is giving a model +2 tack and somebody else singling out a model and then maybe a crowd out. And it's like, oh no, I am now the one on the end of the ass whooping. But... So let's talk about what Rivet actually does. The biggest use I get out of her is that drag.
Mm-hmm. She has tow, which, just like the other engineers, or the other miners, gets to place, and like the big old boat, it gets to move people with her.
Right. Now when Fissure does it, it's a bit easier to execute, but it's only one model once per turn. Whereas Rivet does it when she advances to every model that she passes within 2 inches. You need to plan out that advance a lot because the models that she tows have to jog directly toward her, and they'll step on each other's toes a lot, which is another reason that her use this for the 2-inch melee is huge, because when models start running into each other, that 2-inch melee can really get in there to help add an extra gang up or crowd out. Like, it's pretty big. Also, the thing I haven't mentioned is she makes everybody tack 6, all the squatties at least, and that is huge because engineers pretty much universally have good results on their second column, and when they're tack 4 or 5, they can be a bit unreliable. However, when they're tack 6, they're suddenly very reliable. And tack 6 velocity with 2-inch melee is just kind of not fair with the repositioning she does. You can turn velocity into like veteran decimate level repositioning jank because velocity has double push, double dodge on 4 momentous.
Yeah, so she already has like a 4 playbook with 4 tack, but when you knock that up to 6 tack on her floor playbook, she's reliably getting into that 3rd column or even her 4th.
Yeah.
So if a guy's got a ball and you can do that, I mean,
like
it's pretty dumb.
Yeah, super reliable is her 2nd column with a momentous push dodge. But, you know, when you get a gang up or 2, that double push, double dodge isn't hard to come by. And once you can hit it and get a few more gang ups after that, then you're wrapping to like your 2nd column again, and so then getting 3 inches of dodge and 3 inches of push. Meanwhile, Velocity is just still an excellent striker. People don't respect Velocity in the way they should. It will take away the ball and jam it in the goal without too much difficulty. So, like, typically I'll run like Velocity, Spade, Colossus, Ratchet, Mainspring, and the Captain and Rivet, and that's just a really awesome. You've got models that can kill, models that can take the ball, models that can reposition. Like Colossus and Rivet are both good for killing or repositioning. Colossus can score goals real well, strip the ball and score goals. Spade can do it exceptionally well. Velocity also, you know, as good as Spade at stripping the ball and jamming a goal. And it really opens up a 2-2, a 2 goal, 2 kill play style in the Engineers. Whereas before, if you tried to play that way, when you're doing kills, you're losing tempo and falling behind. So Rivet's really, really good for that stuff. And for me, in my like tournament list, she's replacing Ballista, which sounds like sacrilege, but Ballista's biggest shtick for me was that with Deadbolt, you can't counterattack Ballista because he does a Deadbolt, then walks up and punches you in the face. Mm-hmm. Okay? Rivet gets to bring so many gang ups and crowd outs with her as she walks across the board in this wake that there's really no good options for counterattacking because you're stripped of dice and probably looking at getting knocked down in the first place. So that's why I'm usually using Rivet as a Ballista replacement, whereas, he was a beater with a little utility, and yeah, he'll score 1 goal per game, but if I'm bringing Spade and Velocity, they'll do that for me, and you still have a real hard time counterattacking Rivet because she's got so many friends coming along with Toe.
Interesting. I haven't played her myself, but she definitely looks like she gives a lot more about that. I really want to know if elbow grease really makes that big of a difference or not, because there aren't too many guys that you're taking just straight damage results on. Maybe Colossus.
Yeah, and even with Colossus, it's like you're doing it once maybe,
because he's only got 3 influence, so unless he's getting ratcheted up and then sending him in for a free charge, then you might get a lot more work out of it. But it just seems like it's cool. Elbow grease is cool, but all of her damage results are already momentous. So I don't know what we're gonna do with that. It's nice to have. It's a nice to have. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna say they should take it away because it's nice to have, but it doesn't really do that much else for it.
It's often worth it to me to toss that on someone, because with as many gang ups as she gets, she's doing enough damage to kill something in 4 hits usually. Mm-hmm. And she's got 1 to give somebody else 2-inch melee, 1 to give somebody some momentous damage, and just kind of settle in there.
Cool. Well, she definitely seems good. I don't think there's any really big need to tweak her. She doesn't do anything wrong.
I think it's so early to talk about any kind of tweaks on these models. Mm-hmm. Like, we're barely seeing what they do yet.
Right. The next model's up, if we're all good on that.
Yeah.
The next models up that I have on my list are Culverin and Cutlass. I love pirates. However, I haven't gotten really a lot of chance to look at these guys, and I don't really play them, and I haven't seen them yet. But I know both of y'all have blacksmiths and enjoy playing blacksmiths. So tell me why these guys are awesome sauce.
Well,
would you take Culverin as your captain?
See, I haven't touched blacksmith since season 4.
Okay.
But since back in season 3. Haven't really played them. I haven't even really brought them out. I've done some little light touches of paint on them because I'm lazy. But that being said, they bring in some range plays for the blacksmiths, which is always handy to have, especially when they can kind of do controlling range plays. Which the blacksmiths did not have a terrible amount of. You had, what's her face?
Who, Culverin?
No, from blacksmiths.
Who are you asking about?
With area control?
That can kill the ball. Cinder. You had Cinder that could have the range attack. Otherwise, there wasn't really much besides Dirty Knives.
Mm. She doesn't have anything like that. But
for the most part, the blacksmiths play they cluster a bit, mm-hmm. and they can reach out of that cluster with mm-hmm. Sledge or Veteran Cinder, or even with Ferris if you're talking about snagging the ball and jamming a goal.
Back when I was playing, all they really had was the grab the ball and go play style.
Yeah, so they're kind of central and trying to reach out and touch you occasionally. Mm-hmm. So, Culverin and Cutlass might add kind of a... hard to call it anything other than a mid-range. Because those models do give your opponent incentive to engage you.
Mm-hmm. There is a lot of back and forth with them, which is not a bad thing. Like they're the master and captain, the master and apprentice idea is pretty cool, and they're both pirates, so I'm not upset with the aesthetic, but they definitely have these guys have a lot more effects that really trigger off of each of them than other guys. Like occasionally you see something where like, oh, it's got tutelage or whatever, but this model literally has an ability that Cutlass has an ability for chain shot that's literally measured from a different model.
Yeah.
Which is not something you see very often.
Yeah. So it means you can't do it when
don't take
Culverin
it.
is dead.
Or not even on the board.
Or
Yeah.
just not
You
brought to
literally
the game.
do you just not take Cutlass if you're not bringing Culverin?
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
I mean,
Because you don't get if you're playing Cutlass on Culverin, you don't get the tutelage, so you don't get the free play.
and you don't.
But
even
there's
have
no
access
free
to
play to use.
Exactly.
You don't even have access to chain shot at that point.
All
Yeah.
you have essentially is a Tech 5 model that can hit for Momentus 6 if she gets bonus dice.
Which is cool.
It's fine.
You also don't get in the goal.
No.
So it's a goalie model with the only defensive tech being a 2-inch dodge when an enemy takes a shot on goal, which is going to help sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they are both goalkeepers. I just saw that. Because Culverin has get in the goal and a more defensive play. I mean, it's pretty easy.
So it seemed to be their design philosophy on these where they would give Cutlass some over-the-top character plays because it's harder to pull off. Like, both of them have to be on the board.
Mm-hmm.
So that seemed to be what they're doing. I haven't really thought about who's dropped from a lineup to put them in what matchups they're good. You know, my kind of gut feeling is like Vet Cinder, Furnace, Cutlass, Culverin, Anvil, Sledge. Like, that would be fun.
A wait for it approach. Like, they're coming to you, so just make a fort and hunker down.
Yeah.
Too much.
There's that, or there's also the counter threat of, right, that model's there. I'm going to do damage to it and knock it down right now. So activate it next activation, or Sledge is gonna go Super Saiyan on it or something. Like Sledge will do it, or Cinder will do it. So
yeah,
there's that.
they don't have a bad they don't have a bad fight they don't have a bad fight game with those models lineups.
Yeah.
Cinder and Sledge can kill anybody, and Culverin and Cutlass can definitely stop them from getting goals because of the AoEs, and then being able to dodge back. Because if you put the goalkeeper ability on Cutlass, she can dodge back and forth.
Yeah, and I'm just, which matchups they go in, I'm not really clear on yet.
Nope.
And maybe you do some like hybrid thing where you've got, another interesting take would be Cutlass and Culverin with Sledge and Anvil and Ferris, and then a squatty of your choice, maybe Bolt, because then you've got tutelage like 3 times. Yeah, like all those models have gotten tutelage.
Yeah.
You've got Ferris and Bolt who can strip the ball and score. Bolt who's got a ranged knockdown. Ferris who threats forever on the ball. Sledge who can mop up. Anvil who's just kind of making everybody tougher. Like when the enemy's ready to come in on you, you just make everybody tough hide with Anvil's legendary and then shoot them all in the face. So maybe I don't know. It's one of those. It's like gosh, I really got to play him to know, and I'm having too much fun with Rivet to play my blacksmiths right now.
I'm a big fan of pirates. Jesse knows that.
It's
It's
true.
one of the reasons why I like part of Union. And I was really sad that the Union didn't get, there's 2 pirates that the Union didn't get. So I'm really sad about that. But the good thing is, in my Adepticon bag, I did get half of a blacksmith's
It's true.
army because they came out if I went to Adepticon, I got both the what was it? I got both the Farmers and the Blacksmith starter boxes.
Mm-hmm.
For the people listening to the podcast, Jesse really likes Dr. Pepper.
Well, it's the only thing to drink right now. So.
Please note, we are not endorsed by Dr. Pepper.
Please note, we have no endorsements. Please endorse us.
Please endorse us. We'll take almost anything. Get a hold of us. In fact, I'm willing to bet we'll take anything.
Loose change. We'll take loose change.
Pretty much.
Just throw it our faces.
But they definitely seem cool, and I'm assuming they're just going to come in either a big old box with the rest of them or a two-piece blister.
Who's that?
Culverin
Cutlass
and
and
Cutlass.
Culverin? It's a 2-piece blister.
Yeah.
So they're not
It's
selling
like-
them in a giant box again?
No. What's really hilarious is that right now, since Blacksmith's Box 1 was like given away, like it's super cheap everywhere. And Cutlass and Culverin are like almost the same price as you can just buy a full Blacksmith's Box 1 from somebody. I
Right.
think it's like $30, which isn't bad.
We actually got Blacksmith's Box 2.
Yeah.
We got Farmer's
Oh,
Box
you got-
1.
Ew.
So, you know what? I was thinking I will trade you my extra Blacksmith's Box 1 for your Farmer's Box 1. So I'll paint up the farmers as the characters from Letterkenny.
There you go.
Farmer's Box 1 is a beautiful box.
Yeah. Technically, I have 2 Farmer's Box 1s because one of my buddies didn't want it.
Oh.
But it's one of those things where, like, I could almost get, other than the Cinder model, I would have, if I bought Culverin and Cutlass, I would have an entire Blacksmith team already.
Yeah.
Because I really don't have a lot of want for farmers, so I don't really care about that. But, like, when I want, I mean, I had Blacksmiths for the hottest minute, and then they were gone. Because I bought them originally,
And you traded them.
and I traded them for the greatest deal in the history of Guild Ball trades
You
for
got
Dave.
got your hunters.
I literally traded a Blacksmith Box number 1 for an entire, at the time, fully released Hunter's Army. All 15 models or whatever it is.
Yeah,
They didn't
yeah,
have that
because
many that back then.
well, it had the Union too.
Oh, yeah, you need to
So it had Minx in there.
Yeah.
So it's like I had all the models that were released for Hunters at the time, and the guy was like, I don't like these, get rid of them. It's the greatest deal of all time.
It was back when there was all the, the sobbing over all the mystery boxes being Hunters and Hunters.
Yeah.
And
So I got
it's
like I got Hunters
and
for
Hunters and Hunters.
I got like $200 worth of Hunters for like a $50 Blacksmith box.
that was pretty excellent.
It's the greatest day ever, and now that I can get them back for essentially cheap as free,
Yeah.
not going to argue about it. I already have 4 teams, 2 of which have minor teams at this point. So like getting the Blacksmiths is cool. I'm going to run out of space in my bag real fast though.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm already out of space. I can't fit all the stuff in my bag. I might actually have to get a different bag to carry all my stuff in. But it's such a nice bag that I got, and it reminds me of the times when I shouldn't back Kickstarters.
Yeah.
So, like, I
But they seem cool. I want to play them. Like, Jesse and I have always said, like, between the two of us, we have almost every team.
Mm-hmm.
This makes me want to play Blacksmith more because I like pirates.
that's a good
And
reason.
if they ever do another one of those boxes where they're like, we're gonna crossbreed everybody with just their team, like where they're from,
Mm-hmm.
we could get a whole pirates box, and I could get a pirates team, and I'll be like, I'm gonna buy this, and I would totally play the crap out of that. I wish Steamforged, you should do more of those because those are really cool.
more pirates.
Just
Also more pirates, but also more of those things. Just let me crossbreed all the
more,
pirates.
More teams like the Wolves.
Yeah, the Esprit
Oh,
Wolves. The Esprit
yeah.
Wolves.
I should get that team just because it's got 3 engineer models on it and they look cool in their
It's
rugby
cool.
jerseys.
I played it. I played the team once. I just pulled all the models out and played it, and it's interesting. There's some issues with it, but it's really neat to play
Yeah.
those models together. Because one of the models I don't own Pelage. I had to borrow the card the one day because I didn't have my phone had almost no power. So I'm just like, can I just borrow your Rat Catcher card? And play with
Pelage is disgustingly good at the moment.
and Pelage with Pin Vice and all the rest of them were just ridiculous. So I'm looking forward to that. After Culverin and Cutlass, if we're cool.
Yeah.
So about this Corbelli model, does he literally have how tall is he? Because he's a 2-inch reach with no stick.
He's got some long legs, man.
I mean,
I've heard
what?
that it has let's see here. I've heard that it has a whip on its back hip. Like, that's what's giving him the 2-inch melee.
So is he just the greatest whip man ever to be able to steal the ball at 2 inches? It seems ridiculous. I mean, especially with like a whip. Like, it's not even a stick where you can reach out and like sweep the leg. Like, whips take like actual effort to swing. See, I'm surprised it's not a 2-inch on his turn and a 1-inch normally. Kind of like how What's His Nuts is on Farmers.
Let's not go for realism on.
I'm just like, there was a really silly meme the other day where it was like all the people with that have sticks and 1-inch melee, but there's Corbelli with 2-inch melee just sitting there going, "You can't have this ball." It's funny.
Right.
It's funny because it's a meme and I'm dumb. But Corbelli seems like the greatest guy ever. Like,
Corbelli's really great.
He's pretty damn good.
it reminds me of the Harlem Globetrotters because like he just makes a fool out of everybody.
Reminds me of the Harlem Globetrotters as on Futurama. Like,
Yeah, definitely. Because he's got everything you would want a striker to have.
he's so good.
Oh.
I mean, have you guys played against him yet? Jesse, you got Mason.
I do have Masons. I am eagerly waiting a time when I can break out my Masons because I've been forced into weeks of playing just Navigators.
Well, why are you doing that?
I was asked to play Navigators.
Don't
last week.
do that anymore.
And then it was just I was dunked on so hard.
Don't
It was like me playing 1-on-1 with LeBron James.
tell Kevin
He's
you
just
don't want
going
to play
over my
that
head.
anymore. But
It was
yeah.
Danny. It was your boy Danny actually.
Oh well, tell Danny you don't want to play that anymore.
Oh,
He's just
he-
trying to get wins.
Pretty much.
He's
Well,
like, I got butchers. Look what they
it
do.
wasn't even that. It was Morticians.
I hate them anyways too. Let me tell you about all the models I hate. They are all morticians.
Yeah.
But this guy's just stupid good.
Yeah.
I mean, open your app,
Fast.
folks, and he's a 6'8" with acrobatic, a 2-inch melee, close control. He
Has all the
acrobatics.
things that make a striker good. Like, I've got this checklist when I think about what makes a striker good, which is 2-inch melee,
Yep.
close control,
Check.
a viable dodge,
Check.
super fast,
Check.
and why not a 5'8" kick? Seems good.
Yeah. The first kick 5 model.
5'8". So when he goes against other people, or when he's going to take a goal and he buys a bonus time, he has a 6 dice goal.
Yes.
Chris, you have math. What is a 6 dice goal chance of failure
Just on regular.
on a regular goal?
Uh,
Needing a 4.
So
with 6
one
dice.
one in 2 to the 6. I think that's 64. Give me a sec here. So you got 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. Yeah, 1 in 64 to fail.
So I'll miss 1 a game, is what he's saying. If I played Corbelli.
It won
true.
a game.
But
But if you're at tap in, then it's really nice.
I think it's really bad. I think it's
Yeah.
like if you miss a tap-in Corbelli bonus timed goal, just throw your just leave your models on the table and walk home.
Yep. You do the
Yeah.
walk. You do the walk of shame.
Just you get to now quit the game.
You hang your head. You walk away in shame. And
No,
you
I don't-
think of the Incredible Hulk closing song from the 70s.
Like,
If
Ugh.
you miss something that heavily in your favor, I don't think you should feel down. You should feel as if the gods of statistics nerfed you
Yeah.
because you're so good at the game. Like that's the angle to take. So yeah, he's got all these amazing things,
Yeah.
and a legendary that just gives you the ball.
Yeah.
Like, oh, hey, you got a ball, now I got that ball.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a free ball or an enemy model in possession of the ball within 6, and he just gains it.
Yeah.
It's like if you have an influence, he can make a goal run.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not reading this wrong. He just goes, "Hey dog, I hear you got close control. I'm gonna take this ball and get this goal."
Yep.
So, because he's got essentially a 10-inch move and then an 8, so he's got an 18-inch threat range for his kick with his 6-inch
Plus-
playing the game.
All those dodges.
Yeah.
So he's got
Gets to reposition your team by
Making
doing
space.
cool, awesome stuff.
So the other thing that people,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if people have said this online. I'm sure somebody has. Making space essentially clears you out of a scrum. It's like, hey, your guy's dying. Oh,
Yeah.
he's moving now.
Well, I look at most of Corbelli's reposition stuff, not so much as enabling the kicking game, like a lot of people are saying, but instead making him able to really play for 2 kills and 2 goals. Like, because Corbelli's got a momentous 2-on-2.
Yeah.
And if you're taking Veteran Chisel, and Veteran Chisel is doing that,
The assist.
the assist thing, yeah, like either that or Tower for Shield Up, you could get both. But that's there's no point in thinking you're going to get to Magical Dream World, so let's just stick with one of the things. And fact of the matter is, between making space and what's his character?
Dummy pass.
Dummy pass. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So making space and dummy pass. That's 8 inches of movement
For the chisel.
Yeah. Like
so you can move chisel into him.
Into somebody.
And then walk up and then be like, oh hey, I'm gonna do momentous 3 6 times.
Yeah. And if that pass happened to be to Chisel.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Chisel dodge. Now you're talking about 12 inches of movement out of Veteran Chisel. So
it's really
she
dumb,
gets
right?
to stuff. Yeah, it's real dumb.
So
she gets to stuff.
Oh, by the way, it's Towering Presence.
Remind me, Towering
While
Presence.
within this aura, other friendly guild models may spend 1 less MP to use pass and move or make a snapshot. Turns himself into an inspiring hat.
So you don't even have to. Yeah, he just keeps.
Have you seen his hair? It's beautiful.
Guys,
it is awesome.
Guys, I'm just saying, like, he does everything.
Yeah.
Like,
that's the case with these new
did
captains
Jasper,
that are
did
coming
Jasper
out.
just go into a room by himself for a while when Corbelli came out?
No, I did.
Because
This
is the thing Jasper's been waiting for in season 4. I'm pretty sure.
So what's crazy is with all the things that you can do to Corbelli and upgrade his damage, it's very likely that you could approach a game with Corbelli as going for 2 6-point activations, both from like
kill
Corbelli
a model, get a goal.
Yeah, kill a model, get a goal. Kill a model, get a goal. But if you're trying to play more of a control-y style game, he can 4-1 the crap out of your opponent.
Because we aren't even talking about the fact that you can take Chisel and Mallet, and Mallet's being both singled out knockdown machine
and I think you should take
and
Mallet.
football legend.
Yeah. I think you should take Mallet because you're going to get so much more reliability on your passes for making
football
space.
legend being 6'8" or 6'9". He was 6'9" goal.
Well, that's kind of unnecessarily good.
But I mean,
there's no reason to set it up. But if you're looking at like
moving your team around,
or your mascot wants to pass, right? Mm-hmm. And mascot doesn't have good kick stats.
Record's kind of junk.
Yeah, well, Record's a good model, but the kick stats, what is it? A 1-4 or a
1-4?
Yeah, 1-4.
Then he can see a 2-5.
So it's 2-5. Yeah. There you go. Like 2-5 tap in. Now you're like a 2-5 tap in means that you're missing like 1 out of 9 times.
All I can say is thank God that they did not give him anything like I'm open or on my mark.
Yeah, that would make him really nuts.
If he had I'm open, he would auto win the game on his turn.
And I want to point out that like none of the rest of Corbelli's team really does anything for getting the ball back.
Doesn't one of them have balls gone?
Gosh, I don't think so.
No.
Let me look. I want to say one of them did, but I could
is
be
a
wrong.
good striker.
All Flint has is where they go.
Yeah, Flint has where did they go.
Where they go.
Flint will score you goals.
Yeah.
Flint will sometimes pocket the ball away and kick it to somewhere else, but you don't have that big kick recovery like you do in a lot of teams. And
Flint and Corbelli gives you 2 close control models in your game.
It's really dumb. Flint, I mean, you play Flint with Corbelli and you play Mallet. Like, I think the team is Corbelli, Wrecker, Mallet, Chisel.
Vet Chisel,
I'm sorry, Flint, and
Corbelli.
I said Corbelli.
Oh, did you?
So Corbelli and Wrecker.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Veteran Chisel,
Yeah.
Flint, Mallet.
Yep.
And you get a 6th guy.
Yeah. So a lot of times that's going to be Snakeskin because Mason's players love that model.
She's real good now.
Real good.
Granite, just to make everyone else hate you.
Granite, Tower is often taken because that tool up is easy.
Tower for the tool up makes
you've got 2
have momentous
options for
4.
Yeah. Or just another way, like when Veteran Chisel is not on the board or too far away, which is not
Or,
frequent.
how about Veteran Harmony?
Vet Harmony for
With
the
marked target
Yeah.
and field medic and team
all
player.
the good stuff. So it's really a lot of those are going to flex based on the matchup.
Yeah, like you might actually have to kill some people, so you got to take tower. You might actually need to. You might actually need to be able to get farther when you're playing another ball team. You're taking marked target. Like there's a lot of things you could do, but I think that team right there, those 5, with 1 flex, it's like okay, great. This is my team now. Like I think most of those are in my half of the kickoff box, so I can just buy that in a Corbelly
Heck.
and take it for a ride.
Yeah, pretty much. And heck, why not even just give a shot with brick and marbles sometime? Like maybe.
Oh, that's
maybe,
actually. I know Brick got nerfed on his range, and I know Jasper's crying in his cheers about that, but like a lot of people are too. But that defensive tech means that you can't come in to go get the ball.
it's a lot harder. That's for sure.
It's a lot harder than that than people make it out to be.
So like that, and just a little bit of goad tech off of marbles. So maybe, I don't know. I've been reading a lot of folks' opinions, and it seems like it's pretty much a set 6 or a set 5 with a flex. Like, a lot of folks say there's really no reason to take Tower or Harmony anymore. Excuse me, Tower or Honor. But, hey, everybody's got different ways of playing the game. And Corbelly kind of does it all. I'm not, I don't think he's super above the game curve. He just does it all.
He's the new Super Solo for the Masons.
Yeah. He enables, like, a Midas Season 3 play style.
Pre-nerf.
Yeah, pre-nerf play style.
He
where
does
it's like,
everything he wants.
we can kill you, or we can snag the ball and jam it. Like, we can do whatever we want in whichever order we want.
I mean, seems amazing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Can't say anything bad about him.
And you don't have to deal with the... Thankfully, now that he goes in, you don't have to deal so much with the hammer prison that was making the game so, like, obnoxious to play sometimes. And they did fix a lot of that with how they changed Vet Harmony, but it's still like, it's not a stifling slog anymore. Like, it's a bit more fun and fast-paced.
He seems like he's gonna be great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was the one that was like immediately tweaked, perhaps because they saw it as something that was not intended, or perhaps because they saw it as something that was too strong. But they immediately tweaked making space, where it was previously not once per activation. So a model with the ball could kick it to free space up against a rock, like a barrier or something, as many times as they want, and all of your allies dodge 4 inches. I was fine with it the old way, because I think that's a lame use of your influence. Like, I don't think it's bad sportsmanship, I just think it's not useful. But Steamforge said that wasn't what they intended, so they fixed the wording like a week after we saw Corbelly's card, and far before Corbelly's been released, because that hasn't happened yet. Yeah.
Seems great.
Yeah, seems great. It's a whole new world.
I was saying near the end of season 3 that we should all get new captains, and that would make everything go on its end. And now we have new captains now, and things have gone topsy turvy. And I think it's great. Last but not least, the big fat man named Corker.
Corker.
He's in the Brewers, and I know at least one person in this room likes to play Brewers.
That is true.
And it's not me. So
I used to like playing Brewers, but now that I have Rivet,
Yeah.
I don't have to play my Brewers.
But you have a Cleveland Brewers team.
I do. My Brewers are painted in Cleveland Browns colors, and I love them.
So Corker is a model that does a lot of stuff.
He does some stuff.
And Jesse, take it away.
I'm opening the page right now. My computer's timing out for some reason, which is awesome.
Your computer's the best.
I just had to reinstall Windows the other day.
Why?
Because we had like 164 broken registries.
Why your registries broke off?
Well, I didn't have the computer for a year. I was given to somebody else.
Oh, okay.
This is great radio.
It is
Great, you know.
fantastic.
Doing it live, folks.
So
So Corker's a big fat man who, if you've played any video games online, looks like Gragas from League of Legends.
he looks like he could be Anvil's son.
He does that too.
That might be why they have such a
Striking likeness.
well, not even that, but why they work so well. Why the Brewers and the Smiths worked well in the fluff.
That's I
Hey,
like
look
that.
at you reading fluff and
I
stuff.
like that conspiracy theory.
I do read the fluff.
I mean, the fluff does
So-
have some sway on this game. I mean, there's a reason why
Alright.
people are dead.
So-
It's finally open, yay!
So
Corker, he's a big man.
Corker is a big man.
He's a big dude.
The biggest shtick with Corker is he's got a heroic to give everyone a beer token, except the mascot, sadly.
Yep.
Dogs can't drink.
Dog
No.
don't drink.
And didn't they sculpted the cat with a mug of beer, didn't they? No, they
No.
didn't. My mistake. That's somebody's model that I've just seen.
Okay.
He doesn't have a legendary. A lot like.
Like every
Like
other brewery,
any
Yeah,
other
there's
brewer
no- he has a
captain.
heroic.
heroics.
So do these beer tokens work differently than other guys' beer tokens?
No, they're the
No.
same.
They're the exact same thing.
What annoys me is that it doesn't on his card tell you what a beer token does. I suppose they put that as like a team rule on the team card.
What they said during the preview is that beer tokens are the Brewers' special team rule.
It's on 2 models. It's the special
Well,
team
'cause
rule.
There's
I'm
two
sure
models that
Arado
can-
will give more beer tokens.
There's
to other
two
people.
models that can, produce them essentially.
Yep.
Corker puts them on anybody's card. Pine Pine only puts them on his.
I bet in the future when they do a retool of everybody again, I bet Dogman will give beer tokens to people because he's got the little jug.
Because he's
Yeah.
got the little thing.
Because he's
yeah.
the dog you
Instead
all
of-
know. Got the little whiskey jug underneath
Yeah.
it.
Instead of the pick me up, just
So-
give you an extra die.
But
Yeah, like he could very well. They could literally say like if you start in base with dog, gain a beer token,
Mm-hmm.
which would be
So-
great. I think that'd be great, and you should do it because dog is giving you beer, and that's the best thing about dogs. Dogs are giving you beer. I've seen those videos. They're the best.
So him giving out the beer tokens is a really big jump in influence
Yeah.
efficiency advantage, which is why they made him is it a 2-4 or a 2-5?
He's a 2-4.
Yeah, it's a
2-4.
2-4. So brings 2 fewer influence than anyone else, but gets to hand out.
The beer
That's
tokens.
Hunterland right
Yeah,
there.
gets to hand out. And does he get them also? I need
can
to
take
look
them.
at the
Friendly
Um,
non-mascot guild models
yeah,
within
so
the
yeah.
pulse gain a beer
So
token.
yes, so he does get them.
Yeah.
So that's real good.
And what's nice is they will sit on your card until you spend them.
How many can you spend a turn?
You can spend 3 a turn.
Up to 3.
So he's essentially then making 5 attacks a turn.
Yes, but if he's making 5 attacks, that means it's turn 4 or later.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Yeah, but you're not going to probably be making that many attacks on turn 1.
no, you're not. You're
Turn
not,
2, he's going to be 2 on him and probably 2 on everybody else, which means that when you go into that big fight, you're gonna whoop a lot of bones.
It seems like you might want to try to hide turn 1 and turn 2,
yeah,
and then
Hooper
go off.
with 2 beer tokens going into the fight seems like I hate my life.
Yeah,
Oh,
that,
yeah.
that seems like it's the worst thing for anybody's
Yeah.
staring
Yeah,
down.
Hooper is really balanced around that influence stat of 2-3.
Yeah.
So when
So-
Hooper can suddenly take 2 more attacks, pretty much kills the world.
Oh,
Particularly with Whiskey Chaser on.
Whiskey
Because-
Chaser he gets a free knockdown on his first attack.
Yeah, so
Now's the big one coming. Oh, having
You
a heart
already-
attack.
just feeling the love, or
Oh, I
You hear that, Elizabeth? It's the biggest one I ever
What's
had.
coming? Oh, this is
like
these.
Keep in
Both
mind.
Corker and
Keep in mind-
Corbelli will be arriving at my house in a month.
Keep in mind, Corker also has his own Iron Fist to do extra damage.
yeah.
Yep.
So he spends his own influence to get +1 damage, and he can just drink himself to death, which essentially gives him 3 damage on 3 or
Yeah.
on 2. I'm sorry.
Yeah, 3
3 damage on
2.
2, which means fantastic. And he's also got 7 tack on a 6 playbook.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Good old Brewer style playbook. in
He
the Brewers.
does not have any defensive abilities, really. He's got legless...
But wait,
Yeah, but,
Well, you
but
say
they
that-
turned him into.
Well, I mean,
He's got tough skin, but...
Turns out he's Borka Kegslayer.
What's
Better
that
than
game?
Borka.
What's
What-
that game?
What? Oh, whoops. Wrong game.
Borka Kegslayer, for those of us who didn't all just come from Privateer Press's games, what does Legless Drunk do?
Well, when the first time each turn that Corker suffers damage, you get to push Corker d6 inches. And you get to, so it's you roll and then
Yeah.
you determine the direction.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes it so weird because you could push him into models, you could push him away from models.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody's coming in on Corker that Corker can't counterattack, like a model with 2 or 3 inch melee,
Yeah.
Corker's Legless Drunk, you could, as they buy that attack, you could counterattack Legless Drunk to get pushed into them and then counterattack them.
It's true.
Like, there's that, or you might
Yes.
just get pushed d6 inches away.
Yeah.
It's a super risk.
Right?
But, fitting for the drunks.
Yeah. He's
I
the
mean-
drunken master style.
He is.
Well, he's got Spit and Sawdust when this model's on the pitch. Friendly guild models still engage when they're suffering knockdown.
Yeah, that's a
Oh.
niche one, but
I
that's
love
gonna
that
Still
help.
pretty
much,
good.
though.
I could see that being a bigger fuckery than you'd think.
I mean, I can't
It is.
tell you how many times I've been playing Brewers and somebody's like, I'm just going to come in and smack down Tapper, like knock him on his butt.
I'm gonna walk
Push
in
him around.
Colossus and go knock over, knock over, knock
Yeah.
over, down.
Yep.
So the
F
fact
your
that
team.
the fact that he does that while they're knocked out, well, I like it.
Yep. So they still engage.
None
so
of
they
these
still,
things are bad.
So they still gang up and crowd out.
His playbook is pretty okay. Like, he's got knockdowns aplenty. He's got damage. If he Iron Fists
It's-
himself, he can fight. But I really think that, like, he's got his own Iron Fist for when he actually has to do something. But
Yeah.
I think that, like, he won't be joining the fray itself until, like, turn 3 when he's got 3 beer tokens. Because the first
Yeah.
on turn 1, if you actually get into anybody, you'll be helping other people. But, like,
Mm-hmm.
turn 2, you're going to be whiskey chasing and tough skinning people and then sending them in. So, but by the time that, there's going to be a lot of fights.
Yeah.
A lot of fights.
And-
He's got what, 7 tack on a 6. So he's hitting his 2 or 3 pretty reliably. So, like, he's doing a knockdown, he's doing a double push, he's getting 2 damage. He's doing everything you want him to do.
Mm-hmm.
He just don't put him in the middle of the fight, otherwise he's gonna get picked on. Because, if you get him surrounded enough that he can't get out,
Yeah.
then he's got 24 hit points on a 3-1,
Keep
which
a
means he's
hey.
gonna die.
keep a 40mm hole open in the back.
He's just gonna
chip
die.
away.
He's also a 40mm base, so if he gets
Ah.
surrounded, he's done.
Oh, and I'm just looking at the rule on the guild rule for beer tokens. It says a model may have up to 2 beer tokens, so we can't expect them to have 3 at a
Doesn't Pine
time.
Pot start with 3?
I think
So,
easy
Pine
except
Pot
for
6?
Pine Pot's
six.
rule says
He
he
starts
can
with
carry
6.
3.
No, he
He
carries
Oh, yeah,
carries
carry
6. He can spend
Yeah.
3 per turn.
Yeah.
So realistically, once you go on turn 2 and you use Corker's ability, then everybody just flies at the enemy.
pretty much.
So I could see that. I could see
Yeah.
that happening.
It's also worth noting that what is it about the beer tokens? You can use them to buy attacks, but you can also use them to buy character plays.
Yep.
And heroics, I believe.
Not heroics, no.
No?
No.
No?
Oh no! It says or use a heroic play
Oh.
without spending momentum.
So,
How about that?
yeah,
so,
guess what? You
so
can use
actually,
Iron Fist for free, or
so-
whatever that other one that or
I had
So,
forgotten about
Hoover's
that.
ability.
So you go and you spend a beer token to use free bar
So now,
every turn.
Right?
so now he's got Esther's shtick because Esther's was given free heroics. He gives beers that you can use for heroics.
Yeah.
So
What
a world.
What a world we live in.
yeah,
We'll just call the Brewers the welfare team. You just get free shit all day.
and it happens to be let's
Happens to be beer.
Let's-
The cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
yeah.
There's my reference for the day.
There you go.
So
So he seems great. I think he's
Yeah.
super cool. I think people are going to have a good time with him. Is he the best? Maybe not, but he's super cool.
I mean,
I think people give him a good fair shot.
It's hard for me to walk away from Tapper.
You like
Tapper
Tapper,
does all the things that I want him to do.
right?
I was learning to play with Esther's. Esther's is cool because she enabled stuff, but she didn't really fight all that much. So I put her away for a bit.
I'd fight some motherfuckers with Esther's.
Well, I mean, she fights, but she doesn't have. She doesn't have the. She can't fight and then throw out the buff.
correct.
The commanding aura is what I really relied on Tapper for.
Got it. Yeah. So yeah, Tapper would completely take over a scrum in that way.
Yeah.
Esther's would try to disassemble it from the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I mean, really, in the Esther's team, you were trying to pluck someone out with Vet Decimate.
And then just move them over so Hooper can just...
Yeah. So, it
pretty
is...
good.
With him, he's got everything that Esther's has but Gluttonous Mass.
Yeah.
Now that I look at... So, that's too bad, but... I think it's worth leaving Tapper in your lineup, partially from what you were saying, partially because 2-inch melee is a hot commodity in this game, and sometimes you just need it.
Yeah.
I mean, Tapper did just win something, I think.
I
thought I read
Canadian
somewhere.
Nationals?
Canadian
Maybe that
Nationals,
was
Tapper
years ago.
won.
I forget.
I swear I read something that Tapper won something.
I read
But
that
I'm
also.
terrible at
I forget where it
research.
was. Turns out good people win no matter what they're playing, except with Season 2 Hunters. Or Season 3 Hunters. Like,
Right.
good people just win.
Funny that.
Funny how that works. So, it's... Just think of all the BS you can pull off with Whiskey Chaser, which isn't even once per turn.
Yeah.
Nope. You can
So-
put it on everybody.
Yeah.
You get a knockdown, and you get a knockdown,
Yeah.
and you get a knockdown.
So now,
Dog, get in there. Knock this guy down.
Hooper can have a double knockdown on one. Momentous double knockdown on one. So
You're
nobody
sturdy.
can stand.
Nope.
Right? Not sturdy. So there's that.
Some tech
And then
right there.
once Hooper can buy 3 attacks on a model who's knocked down, they're just probably going to die. I'll have to sit down and figure out which models he can't kill that way, but most of them he can. Also, it brings back the old nuts Vet Decimate, because it used to be Vet Decimate was so nasty because you couldn't counterattack her.
Oh, God.
Because
You can
on
put-
3 hits, she's had knockdown stagger.
Now
And now
she
she's
has...
got it again.
Oh, great. Cool story. They
Yeah.
just made Vet Decimate better. That's the
Or-
best thing in this game.
Or is it on
Stop clapping over there.
Yay, my favorite girl's better.
right?
Yeah, fuck
Easy
yeah.
access to a momentous double push knockdown, like, and attacking up to 6 times in a turn means she could shove somebody 12 inches. Like that's
You
like,
get off the board.
you know. I'm talking about pie in the sky dreamland,
Yeah.
but it's not that hard. Like, this is stuff that she can do on the second turn. All you have to do is go second. Like, all you have to do is kick off turn 1 and Corker give everyone beer with a momentum. And then turn 2, go second and Corker give everyone beer with a momentum. And now, suddenly, Vet Decimate can drag somebody 12 inches. It's so dang funny.
Oi.
Yeah, Oi is right.
So, verdict is he's cool.
He's cool. I have no idea who to use him with. He's probably just a straight substitution for Esther's for me. Really have to look at what else can be done with him, but that's what I'm looking at.
Cool. Anything else on this, bro?
A month is too long to wait.
Yeah.
Right.
the
Well,
waiting.
that's the end of my sheet.
Hell yeah.
We actually got through stuff in a reasonable amount of time and didn't ramble on like assholes for 2 hours.
Hooray!
We did
Hooray.
it in less than that. So that's everything on my list. Anything else? Any new business?
No, the game's got a bright future. I'm
Yeah.
excited to play. We're getting more and more people in the game shop. It's a good time to play.
We got more people coming up. We got a couple of new guys trickling in. We got a guy moving, hopefully, back to our area.
And they're starting the community back up in Akron.
Are they really?
Yeah. Kevin, our friend Kevin, who plays with us in Cleveland, applied for pundit status and is like getting a play night set up in Akron. They're playing every other Wednesday. So
Cool. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that Guild Ball is coming back to Ohio.
yeah, it was never gone, but now it's like, bah.
It took a dump for a while, but
Yeah, There were some drags when there was nothing going on
Yeah.
between, like, the whole after Black Friday crap when everybody's waiting for their bottles and the game is just like, oh my gosh, nothing's happening.
That's awesome, though. I'm glad everybody's coming back. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to playing some more in the spring here. Well, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here once again. We'll try not to go and forget what month it is.
We'll try to be less busy.
You know, that also happens. Not all of us
Well-
shoot rockets into space, but we're also, booked.
Less busy, less sick. I think those are admirable goals.
That'd be great. But anyways, I'm Dave,
I'm Jesse.
I'm Chris.
and we'll see you next time. Just leave
it.
Leave that in.
Leave it in.
You can find the Pusher Pass podcast at pusherpass.wordpress.com, Instagram.com/pusherpass, Facebook.com/pusherpass, or on Twitter @pusherpass. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.